Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look back at the first Kentucky Derby prep race of 2020. On New Year's Day, it was the Jerome Stakes, a one-turn mile at Aqueduct. 10 Kentucky Derby qualifying points to the winner. They break from the gate. Keep an eye on the 3, Independence Hall, your 1-10 favorite. This horse does not break well. I like what Jose Ortiz did, Mike. He's just going to let this horse go. He's 1-10. He's pulling. He's eager after that break. He gets into good position and eventually settles down.
Yeah, all those things are true. It was a little disconcerting to see him break poorly in this race, but you can just see how much horse Ortiz had early. And I got him out into the clear, let him pull his way up towards the front. He's going to take this race over not too much longer after this, Dan. I mean, he's up there on the pace with a big long shot. He's going to put that horse away very early, and then he just never lets the rest of these horses into the race.
Now, a lot of folks, I think, were expecting gigantic things from Independence Hall in this race, following the triple-digit Beyer performance he put up in his final start at 2 in the Nashua. That didn't exactly happen, as we see. He wins comfortably, only with an 83 Beyer, a 102 time form U.S. rating. But after the slow break, I did like the way he relaxed. He's taken this race over for good right now.
Yeah, he takes it over right here. You're going to see the horses that eventually dead heat for second. They're moving in tandem behind him here. The one is Prince of Pharaohs. Moving with him is Bourbon Bay, and they're going to just chase Independence Hall from here. Listen, I think they both try very gamely. They're just no match. You can see Independence Hall. He's staying off the rail. He's in a drive right now, but he never lets this field in, Dan, and he's clear under the wire.
And Independence Hall's the kind of horse that we've seen in the past. Once he makes the lead in the stretch, he looks around a little bit and he'll drift away from the whip, and that's what we're seeing right now. He's getting in just a little bit, but again, there's no sweat for him. He wins very, very easily by 4. Again, with an 83 Beyer speed figure, he is now undefeated from 3 lifetime starts. Breaking badly, a little bit of a concern, but this is a horse that's done absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah, listen, he's run, to me, he's run really well in all 3 of his races. Obviously, the Nashua, the Grade 3 win back in November was, you know, the one that caught everyone's attention. He ran giant that day, but he's run well in all 3 of his starts. And as disconcerting as the poor break was in the Jerome, you know, he really hasn't done that in all of his starts. The first 2 starts, you know, it's not like he's a bullet from the gate, but he broke with the field at least. So I'm just going to, at least for now, just assume that that poor break in the Jerome, a little bit of an aberration. He
is from the first crop of the exciting young stallion Constitution with pedigree on the bottom, a half to Black Onyx, who won the Spiral Stakes going a mile and 1/8, a half to Quality Council, who was graded stakes placed at a mile, and a half to Francois, a stakes winner, going a mile on a synthetic surface. A $97,000 buyback as a yearling. Eclipse Thoroughbreds, Twin Creeks, they bought a piece of this horse after the career debut, and it appears that the Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay is next on February the 8th. This horse will get a chance to strut his stuff around 2 turns in Florida.
We'll see what he does. I mean, again, I like all 3 of his races so far. He looks like one of the better, he was certainly one of the better 2-year-olds. He looks like one of the better 3-year-olds at this stage of the game, and we'll just see, you know, if he stretches out. I think it's also going to be interesting to see what the Constitutions do going forward, because he had an unbelievable year with his 2-year-olds, his first crop last year. We'll see if those horses can continue to go on.
It'll be interesting to see. That's a very good point, because he was able to win a couple of nice races at a mile and 1/8 down at Gulfstream, the Florida Derby and the Don Handicap, but he got off to such a good start, you have to wonder if they're just going to be precocious and early. Did you see anyone else in this race that has stakes potential down the road? Maybe not Derby potential. I think Prince of Pharaohs is very lightly raced for Linda Rice. He could probably take a step forward. I think Bourbon Bay is a nice horse for Mark Henning, but you just don't get the feeling that these are graded stakes Derby class horses right now, maybe later in the year against weaker horses.
And we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously the horses that you know, brought up the rear of this field were all big prices. You don't really worry about those horses. The horses that dead heated for second, though, that you mentioned, Prince of Pharaohs, Bourbon Bay, they both look okay to me. They're very lightly raced. They've run pretty well in all of their starts. Listen, they were no match for Independence Hall, but there's nothing wrong with that. Independence Hall was 1-10 for a reason.
Independence Hall, trained by Michael Trombetta, based in the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll see him at Tampa Bay Downs, it looks like, in the Sam F. Davis Stakes on February the 8th. Right now, he's one of the leading 3-year-olds in the country.